My name's Nicky Tonbridge. I go to the Chelmsford Christian Fellowship. I've lived in Chelmsford for I think 3.5 years now, nearly 4 years, since I gave up teaching. I gave up teaching because I have MS and it took a turn for the worse. And the treatment that the doctors gave me actually seemed to make things worse, not better. My energy levels went down dramatically within weeks of having a steroid treatment. It got to the point where I could hardly walk to the bathroom. That was about 6 months before we got married. So even getting married was a miracle. I was terrified I wouldn't make it down the aisle.
How did the disease debilitate you? What did you find difficult?
The MS started by sending me blind in one eye, but I was prayed for and regained 3/4 of my sight immediately, and the rest took about 6 or 8 weeks to come back. That was back in 1984. Following that, at about yearly intervals, a bit of me would suddenly go numb. I'd get pins and needles and lose sensation, and then it would take, again, about a couple of months to come back. And from that point of view, it didn't really interfere with life, and to a large extent I behaved as if I didn't have the disease at all. You know, I just ignored it. And it wasn't until 1987 when I woke up one day, sort of in the early hours of the morning, it was like seasickness. I literally couldn't move without being sick, and half of my head from there downwards and round to the back was completely numb. Lost all sensation completely. It was very frightening and very unpleasant. I had to be injected with things to stop me from being sick. And because it was such a severe attack, they decided to give me steroids. Up until that point, really it hadn't interfered with life at all. I just got my RYA in dinghy sailing. I was feeling very pleased with myself. And it was quite a shock to suddenly find myself flat on my back and unable to do anything. I had been given more steroids by the neurologist, who thought that this was a wonderful miracle cure. It might be the thing that sort of bumped my energy levels up. Well, that didn't happen. It kicked off a lot of other problems. I got a bad candida problem. That got worse and worse until it got to the point last year, in 91, where I was in permanent discomfort and I'm nearly going screaming mad. By the time I came to Penile, I really was at my wit's end. The doctors had tried everything and failed. I'd been to gynecologists and goodness knows what. And nothing was working. And I got to the point where I really had to cry out to God, and I said, Lord, you write my prescription because the doctors can't. They're just failing every time. So when I came to Penile, it was at that point. I'd asked the Lord to move, and I honestly believed he would, because I knew he wouldn't let me down. I just didn't know how he'd do it. And Mike talked me through a lot of it, and then he sat me down on the platform and I waited there while he went and got a book. He said, right, read this and come back tomorrow night. I didn't really take it in at the time. I went home, I opened it up, and on the first page of the book it said, a prescription for your total health. I thought, hallelujah, God is taking me literally.
Yes, yes.
Since that time, I've gone from being able to walk 60 feet to, on holiday, I walked 1/4 of a mile.
Yes, that's wonderful, yes.
Which really is tremendous. I mean, I couldn't do that every day of the week, and I couldn't do it sort of every half hour. It would be a one-off, but even so, my energy levels went up dramatically. I was prayed for in July. By October, when we were on holiday, I was cooking meals in the kitchen, standing up from start to finish. I didn't have to sit down. It's accepting that God is in charge, and that even if it doesn't all happen instantly, I mean, I would love a complete healing instantly. And I know he can do it, but that isn't the way he has taken me.
Yes, yeah.
On the other hand, I know that I'm getting better. So,
Yes, yeah.
You know.